Hi guys, it's Lottie here from Mr. Bees, and we're back after a little month's break for another roundup of our 5 favourite books from the Booksellers dozen this month. When I say our favourite, I do mean my favourite, because I'm cheeky that way. So the first book that I want to kick off with this month is a book called Lessons in Chemistry, and it's by Bonnie Garmus. It's a book that I'm reading at the moment. I am absolutely loving it, and I keep telling everybody who walks through the door about it, even though you can't technically buy it yet. This is a book about a lady called Elizabeth Zott, who is an incredible research chemist in the 1950s. She is working in an industry which is dominated by men and is desperately trying to carve her own path. After a number of unusual events, she ends up becoming a presenter for a TV cooking show in the afternoons and becomes a massive national phenomenon. This book is witty, it is incredibly intelligent, it's got so much heart, I cannot put it down. I'm absolutely loving it, and I'm sure that everyone else will too. The next book that I'm going to talk about is a book called Case Study, and it's by Graham McCrae Burnett. You might recognise the name. Graham McCrae Burnett wrote a book called His Bloody Project, which was on my favourites shelf when I first started here at Mr. Bees. It was shortlisted for the Booker Prize a number of years ago. He often writes these really twisty thrillers which have many layers to them and are really kind of textured in the writing styles and the documents that you get within the book. Case Study is no exception to this. We are set in the 1960s in London, and we follow a woman who is convinced that her sister has just committed suicide because she was talked into it by her psychotherapist. We then delve into the history of the psychotherapist himself and how he became this person of exceptional power and how he utilises that to less than honourable means. Within that, we also have an incredibly unreliable narrator in this unnamed woman who decides to call herself Rebecca Smith as she poses as a new patient for our psychotherapist. This is an incredibly twisty psychological thriller, and I could not put it down. On to a little bit of non-fiction now, and one that I feel we have to talk about, which is The Bookseller of Florence by Ross King. Obviously the subject matter is very close to our hearts as booksellers ourselves. This book is a combination of history and biography, and it looks at an incredible figure in the Renaissance. His name was Vespasiano de' Medici, and he was a famous bookseller in Florence throughout the 15th century. Medici supplied kings and popes with beautiful manuscripts and was one of the key figures from the Italian Renaissance. If you're interested in figures from the Italian Renaissance, if you've got a fondness for booksellers, then this is the perfect book to dive into. And for something totally different, the next one is a collection of poetry by the outstanding Ocean Vuong. He made incredible waves with his previous book, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, which is a combination of memoir and fiction. And this, in classic Ocean Vuong style, is another combination of stunning language and incredible exploration of different themes, from grief to family, and discussions on being an immigrant in America in the present day. This last book is a teen novel that my colleague Hannah has absolutely devoured. It is called Blood to Poison, and it is by Mary Watson. This is incredible contemporary urban fantasy, which looks at a young girl called Savannah, who is part of a family which has been cursed for generations. Every generation there seems to be one young girl who is destined to die very young, and the only way that you know about this is because they are filled with this incredible rage. When Savannah discovers that she is destined for this fate, she decides that she's going to try and change the course of history by involving herself in a coven of witches in Cape Town. It is twisty and atmospheric, is going to be one of our new favourite YA fantasy reads. That's everything for this time, but as always there are 90 more fantastic books in our Booksellers dozen that we have been so excited to hit the shelves. You can have a little look in the link below, which has all of the information on there and our little reviews about those books as well. As always, give us a call, drop us an email, pop into the shop if you want any amazing recommendations, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!